So this was the first time one of my friends who has a channel of his own, Exit Over Here, go ahead, check his channel out, his link will be in the description. But this was the first time he has seen Batman the Animated Series in his life. And I just love talking about the DCAU in general, so I asked him if he'd like to do this series on the channel with me, and he agreed. He's not the only friend I'll be joined by along the way while taking this journey though. With that enough said, let's go ahead, jump into the actual video. But before I do that, something happened to the audio file. I'm not sure, it got corrupted in some way. So their responses to things I say may be a few seconds before I actually say them. So if it gets confusing at times, that may be why, but after you hear what I say, it should make sense. I'm not quite sure why this happened because I've never had this problem when doing collabs in the past. Hopefully it's not a problem in future episodes. And I'll be sure to work on getting that fixed. There's nothing major. The audio itself sounds fine. You just hear responses to things I say from them before I actually say them at times. Now for the actual video. So the DCAU is absolutely epic, and I wish there was a way I could review every single episode on the channel. Which is why I'm starting this series, but I'm not alone. You may recognize this guy from the DC Animated Universe movie tournament. Arcanize, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on? I just interrupted you. I don't give a crap. I'm here. What's good?
Okay, but that's not all. We also have Exit Over Here.
Heyo. Yeah, it's alright. I feel terrible about saying heyo now.
So yeah, we're going to review every episode of every show, and we're going to go in production order for the most part. And we're going to start with, of course, Batman the Animated Series, the first two episodes, On Leather Wings, and Christmas with the Joker. So, On Leather Wings, it opens with a police blimp flying, one of the guys sees wings, later on Man-Bat is mistaken for Batman. A lot of the GCPD wants to go after Batman with Bullock leading the charge. Gordon not so much though. Man-Bat is robbing chemicals and pharmaceuticals. Batman goes to one of the plants Man-Bat robbed. Finds a tape recording that has his voice, so he takes this recording to Dr. Marge, who ends up telling him it's two sound starlings and brown bats. Batman knows he's lying, so he goes back to his lab and discovers Kirk Langstrom is the Man-Bat. A fight ensues with Bullock and Gordon in a chopper following the two. Batman takes down Man-Bat, analyzes the chemical stolen, and makes a cure, so Langstrom is cured, for now at least. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. So, Exit, Connor, I'm just going to call you by your actual names. Connor, what do you think of the episode?
I don't care.
Yeah, it's first ever Batman the Animated Series episode I ever watched. And it was a Man-Bat episode, so it was a pretty crazy way to start the series. I've like they went with one of the lesser known villains. I respect that. Man-Bat's a personal favorite of mine. That's a lie, I hate him ever since he started scaring me in Arkham Knight.
Oh my, jump scares in Arkham Knight. Dude.
Yeah. But it was an interesting episode. I don't have too much to say about it. More so just like, most things I want to say about it is just about the like series in general. Like the aesthetic of the series is pretty cool. Just the way that it kind of, it does a good job like Gotham does of making the show seem timeless by, it has cars and stuff that look modern, but at the same time the city itself looks like it's from the 1950s or whatever. So it's cool that they kind of do that kind of noir aesthetic. But yeah, it was a fun episode. I like the cheerful, sassy kind of Batman rather than the brooding version that we see in everything else. And I like the sassy Alfred as well. But yeah, it was an enjoyable episode.
Alright, Everest, what do you think?
Well, this is about the 30th time I've seen the episode. And, still great. It's interesting that they chose to start with Man-Bat, who's like, I don't think a lot of people know who he is. I knew who he was because I played the Lego Batman video game, and he had this awesome level in a zoo, and it was lit. But anyways, I liked this episode a lot. Really does, like, it doesn't feel totally like a kid's show. You do have a very unique aesthetic. And I mean, you can't tell me what Kirk Langstrom is taking isn't drugs. Like, you literally can't. And so I like that, but I also like how they have Batman doing Batman stuff. They have his gadgets. It's awesome. And I could be wrong, but is this like kind of the first time that we really see like the police not liking Batman and like chasing him and everything in media? Besides like comics?
Yeah, on screen I think so.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like, now you see it a bunch, like there's a bunch in like the Batman and everything like that, but I'm pretty sure it's like the first time we've done it, and I love those chase scenes and everything. And if I had to like criticize anything, I mean, the way Batman takes down Man-Bat is kind of like, that's the best you could do, but it works. And I think the animation is incredible for its time and still holds up really well today. Kevin Conroy as Batman, absolute legend. And yeah, great episode.
Yeah, okay, so how he takes down Man-Bat, when he takes out Man-Bat and he like rises up and he's bleeding, I think this is actually the only episode of the show, like the actual Batman the Animated Series up until the new Batman Adventures, that he is bleeding.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're obviously going for like a more mature feel, but still targeting kids. Because I mean, it is supposed to be a kid show after all. But I think how they utilized Man-Bat, it was smart, especially trying to like making Batman out as a vigilante and wanting the GCPD to go after him. And Man-Bat's also like probably no one knew him before this if they didn't read comics, so
yeah. 1992, not really a lot of people know who he was.
I didn't watch it until after like the Lego Batman video game and stuff, so I knew who he was, but
yeah, I was disappointed that you didn't get to play as him on the villain side. You just played Catwoman instead. And something you'll notice is like, well, Connor doesn't know this yet, but spoiler alert, Alfred's voice actor does change, so like it's kind of weird going back and watching it, and
I noticed that. Like, it's kind of weird how, because I'm used to,
That was my favorite part of the first episode.
Oh yeah, when Alfred's like,
I think his voice gets better. His character doesn't change at all. There's still that playful dynamic between he and Bruce. Aspect. Yeah, well, the dynamic between Bruce and Alfred, I think it showcased extremely well. Oh, and we see a glimpse of Harvey.
Yeah.
Yes, I did really like that. I like how they're like, like they're giving little hints, like they're not villains yet. No. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're already building this world. So they already have an idea of what they want to do.
Kind of trippy though, how you have two Harveys on the crime scene for Gotham.
Oh yeah, Bullock and Dent.
Yeah, what Dent say? Like, if you catch them, I'll lock them up.
If you catch them, I'll something. I don't know.
I just love seeing Harvey Dent pre Two-Face in everything. Like, I loved it in Dark Knight. I loved it in Batman the movie. It's really cool.
Yeah, and if you set him up as a character before he becomes Two-Face, when he becomes
so
Two-Face, it's that much more impactful.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they didn't just introduce him in a future episode as Two-Face. It's cool we're getting the setup.
And, I mean, spoiler alert, like, Two-Face doesn't, like, there's a solid few episodes yet before we even see him become Two-Face, so they're introducing him, like, this early in.
Yeah, and there's one where he's really, like, the focus before he becomes Two-Face. So, I'm ready to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I'm pretty sure that's about all we can say about this episode without rambling on. So, I'm going to ask for letter grades. What would you give it, Connor?
Ooh, it puts me on the spot. Alright, I'm going to give it a C+, because while it was enjoyable, it being my first ever introduction to this universe, it was fine. It was good, but it wasn't great. I think they could have started off the show with a more of a bang, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it was by no means bad. There had been more.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Alright, what about you, Everest?
I'll give it a B+. I feel like there are certain things that could have been better, but just like everything from the aesthetic to the interactions and how they set up Batman as a vigilante and the mature themes while still targeting it toward kids. I think it's a great episode, but there are like certain things that like A plus for me at least.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. I give it a B plus as well. I think I'd probably give it a B if this wasn't the episode that set up the entire show, because I think it does that extremely well, especially wanting to set up him as a vigilante at first, because I think Man-Bat was the perfect choice for that, because he is the villain that resembles Batman the most, of course. Especially when you just catch a glimpse or see him in shadow.
It's a good way to start off as a parallel between one good bat-like creature and one bad bat-like character.
Yeah, because like if they hadn't set him up as a vigilante like that, I would have wanted something bigger, like you said, Connor.
Yeah.
Like, I would have wanted him to start off bigger with a more compelling story, I guess. So I don't think this is an A caliber episode, but I think it sets up the show extremely well. Okay, moving on to episode 2, Christmas with the Joker. And I'm just going to start off by saying I love that they did a Christmas episode this early. So it opens up in Arkham, and all the inmates are singing Jingle Bells, and the Joker is there.
Jingle bells,
and he's topping the tree, and the tree apparently has a rocket attached to it, and he flies out of Arkham.
Heck yeah.
While singing the Batman incarnation of Jingle Bells.
Or did they take this from?
And I'm pretty sure it didn't originate here, but I think this is like the first piece of Batman media that incorporated it. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, Bruce is like reading a newspaper. I don't know if he's reading about how the Joker escaped or whatever, but this Dick Grayson is actually in this episode.
Yeah, it's really
this is one of the only episodes you'll see him in Volume 1, but he's here. Yeah, like, I don't know, I guess it's weird how he just shows up randomly, but, I mean, he's in college, so they kind of give an excuse, so. Christmas break, it makes sense that he's here. Anyway, Joker's escaped, Batman wants to go on patrol, Dick just wants to chill, watch It's a Wonderful Life. Batman says he could never get past the title. I love that. So they go out on patrol, everything seems fine, so they go back to Wayne Manor. Dick's gonna turn it over to Wonderful Life, but surprise, there's a Joker broadcast. So now they go after Joker, Joker's kidnapped. Gordon, Bullock, and what was Summer Gleason, that's her name, right? Okay. So this was like loosely based on Burton's movie, Batman's movie, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't use Vicky Bell, but I'm happy that they didn't at the same time. Yeah. But anyway, he's at Gotham Observatory, and Batman and Robin go fight him, and there's a bunch of fight scenes, a lot of Christmas things incorporated, like nutcrackers and whatnot. And Joker has all 3 of his kidnappees tied above like a vat of lava. And he gives Batman a gift, and Batman opens it, takes a pie to his face, but he ends up stopping Joker anyway. Okay, let's actually talk about the episode now.
I absolutely
I'll start with Everest this time. What do you think?
Probably in my top 10 favorite in Batman the Animated Series. I'm not totally sure on that, but it is a great episode. I love the Christmas aspect all throughout. I think that is so great, and like you said, the line where Batman's like, I could never get past the title, It's a Wonderful Life. That's all great, and we kind of, again, have that mature theme running throughout, and it's less apparent, but like, when you go into the, like, stuff with the Joker not having any family, like, that gets kind of deep, and so we see hints of the Joker and kind of what makes him who he is. Obviously, we have Mark Hamill, absolute god, voicing him, and he's great. I love the Joker setup with the 3 Gordon, Summer, and Harvey, or no, Bullock, I can't think. Anyways, that's all great, and yeah, I think this is a great episode. Robin was kind of weird how he just showed up, but like you said, it makes sense that he would be home for the holidays and he is at college and all that. So I do think that the Batman Robin dynamic, I've seen it done better, but it still is very good in this episode. I love Batman taking the pie to the face and still, making the save on the Joker's people he captured and stopping him. And that ending with Joker and Arkham is great. And so I think this is definitely one of the better episodes in Batman the Animated Series. I love it.
Yeah, I did really enjoy this one.
What do you think?
Like, whereas the first one, I had fun with it, but I wasn't really into it. I did think this one was great. It was great to see Joker introduced, and just the Christmas setting was really cool. It was weird just seeing, like, Robin show up like that, but I think it was cool. It kind of gives you an idea of how far into Batman's fighting career this is. It's got to be a good while in if Dick showed up and all that. And I thought that they did a good job at showing kind of the Joker versus Batman dynamic, and then the Batman and Robin dynamic. Just all of it worked really well. It's a Wonderful Life thing was cool, especially since, like, people always say that Oliver Queen in Arrow is identical to Batman, but then in Arrow, Oliver says that It's a Wonderful Life is his second favorite Christmas movie of all time, whereas in this, Batman's like, he absolutely hates the movie, he couldn't get past the title. So it's cool to be like, well, they're not actually that similar after all. And cool little things like that. But yeah, it was very over the top, which I really enjoyed. I was expecting, like, this show to be very over the top like that, and I was happy to see it done this over the top. With, like, the fight scene towards the end where Robin running in, trying to take out Joker's robots, and they're all just shooting so many bullets just everywhere. I was like, that would kill him in a second. Yeah.
And even when he's in the room full of mirrors and like all the Joker
classic villain stuff with Joker trying to dump Summer, Bullock, and Gordon into lava, and just using machine gun robots at everywhere. And it was a cheerful episode.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. He had a giant gun on top of the observatory.
Oh, look, it's a telescope. Oh, crap, it's not a telescope, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Joker's at it again.
Yeah, it felt pretty cheerful,
Joker
but
is terrifying.
Like, Joker is pretty dark in this episode. Like, when he's about to crash the train, like, my mother's on that train, and he just says, "Oh, it'll be even more exciting when it crashes." Like, oh my, like, that's so Joker, but that's really dark for a kid show. Like, I don't know how that got past the censors, because, like, a kid should be able to pick up on that. Like, oh,
that's Joker for you.
He's having fun murdering these people. And this is something I forgot to mention about the last episode, but it's also incorporated into this episode, is, like, they are doing a really good job of showcasing Batman's detective skills. And that's something people complain about so much in the movies, is, like, they don't show Batman as a detective
This
enough.
series just
Even
has
though I think a lot of movies do.
Batman being a great fighter and master detective, and I love it.
Yeah, I like
that. And he's not too broody.
I'm kind of sick of the broody take.
He can have fun with Robin or Alfred.
Yeah.
He can be broody. He's broody in some episodes, he's broody at times, but, like, this is a more fun Batman compared to, like, a lot of versions. It's not too fun, though. Like, he's still Batman. Okay, something else interesting about this episode is it's the second in air date, and Hamill actually didn't come in as a voice until Heart of Ice. That was the first episode he voiced in.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, this is Hamill. They had Tim Curry at first, though. And, something happened with him. I don't know what exactly happened. Like, there were things saying, like, he got sick and, like, couldn't do it.
Aww.
But I'm pretty sure later on he just said, yeah, they never called me back. So, because they got Hamill to do it, Hamill is so perfect. So I'm pretty sure they had Tim Curry's voice for this, but they went back and voiced it with Hamill's.
Yeah.
Which I like to keep with the continuity and stuff. Especially since 14 episodes in, they already had 3 Joker episodes, and if they had Curry voicing 3 of those, and then it was Hamill the rest of the way. It would have been so weird. Like even replacing Alfred, like Alfred's a major character, but he doesn't stand out like the Joker. Okay,
I'd
so
give it
I
an
guess
8.
that's all we have to say. Connor, letter grade.
I'm going crazy.
Oh, nice. All right.
Probably an A for me
all right,
too.
Everest, what will you give
It's
it?
really close to an A+. I don't think I could quite give it that, but it's a phenomenal episode. I love it so much.
Dang.
Oh.
I feel like I'm being negative, giving it an A-. I just think
this
there
is
are
all I
better
have to
Joker
cross
episodes
onto for Joker
in the show. And like just like I have just a nitpick about this episode is when he gets tripped up. Like Batman captures him and he gets out of the jacket. Like he had fake hands or whatever over his jacket. Or those were just gloves, I don't know. But he had gloves over his gloves. But he escapes that way, and then like 15 seconds later he trips and is about to fall in the lava, and Batman catches him. So that just made Joker seem like a little too incompetent for me. That's like always my hang up with this episode is like because he's like so dark and he's so Joker throughout, and then he just trips.
Even Joker doesn't have
and that's how Batman beats
steady
him.
feet.
Yeah, man. We all have those days. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can't catch you can't catch me. I'm the Joker, man.
Only escaped from
falls, like, 10
prison
seconds
and
later.
all that like a day ago. You know, he didn't think to tie his shoelaces and all that time. Relatable.
Yeah,
If there's one
relatable.
comic book character I want to relate to, it's the Joker. Thanks, Doctor.
Yeah, man.
Even the Joker has relatability. So hopefully we'll be back next week reviewing the next 2
What episodes are they?
of Batman the Animated Series. And the next 2 episodes are Nothing to Fear and The Last Laugh.
So, Last
So
Laugh doesn't
already
mean
another Joker
That's
episode.
definitely another Man-Bat episode. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Condiment King episode.
Yeah, he was. He is.
He was actually introduced in the show.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, enough with the rambling. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Go subscribe
to me
the
first,
Exit
though,
over
'cause I'm
here
eating.
and
Wait a minute
Arcanine.
now.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
It was nice of Commissioner Gordon to give you that recording of It's a Wonderful Life.
And it is a wonderful life.
It has its moments.